Video games are obviously meant to be a challenge, but some of the tasks at hand are much more challenging than others. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 of the hardest missions in recent video games. Starting off with number 10, Chapter 4, A Protector's Duty from Plague Tale Requiem. The first game in this series was called Innocence, and I think it's appropriate when you put it next to Requiem. It was pretty easy. For the sequel, they just decided to stop messing around though, because the game just starts off tough. Unlike the first game, where it took a long time before you had stealth as your primary way of getting through a heavily guarded area filled with flesh-devouring rats, in this game you're doing everything like that right from the start in much more complex areas. Now, some might disagree with me, but I think the hardest single section of this game comes in early, in Chapter 4. I'm talking about the part where you reach the city docks, and to get there, you have to go through this huge encampment of enemies. Like, I died here more times than I can count. It's really, really easy to get stuck in a bad situation here.
You can do it! You! Let's kill them all! Amicia!
It's also early in the game, and yes, I played the first game, but it's been a while. I played it when it came out, so I was kind of relearning the controls still, and your abilities are still pretty limited at this point, and, you know, it's kind of hard to sneak past a bunch of soldiers when the only way to survive is to stand in the light, because if you don't, a bunch of rats will eat you. So these guys usually have torches so they can walk right through the rats, and they stab you. But if you want to get past them, you have to be extremely careful, because this whole area is completely open. They can see you from like a mile away. There are not a lot of places to run. Again, the whole light and rat situation. And when they see you, they get their buddies to all come looking for you as well. So trying to get through this part is tough normally, but if you're trying to go stealth or all pacifist, way worse. I did not try to go pacifist. There's just so many guards and so many rats and so many different possible directions to take. It's super easy to take a wrong turn and just get stuck dying repeatedly. The game actually, in my opinion, gets a little easier after this point, after you get a few new tools. This section just is a huge pain, in my opinion, though. And number 9 is Revolution from Dying Light 2. The one where you blow up the windmill. It's a long mission, multiple parts. There's a base you have to clear out, a tank zombie, but those are actually the easy things. The hard thing is when you have to start planting explosives. It's easily the most frustrating section of the whole game. You have 2 minutes and 20 seconds to scale to the top of a windmill and plant an explosive on the turbine. It's supposed to be this big, cinematic, exciting moment, so you might think, hey, this wouldn't be the strictest timer in the world, but no, it is. You pretty much have to climb the tower perfectly, or you fail. The first run, you're going to make mistakes and not notice exactly what's right immediately, and you're going to run out of time. Second time, got this figured out, and that's when you run into the ultimate killer, the windmill fans. For some reason, not only does it have a crazy time limit, but you have to use these slow windmill fans to get up, and when I say slow, I mean slow. If you miss one, you're wasting 5-10 seconds of precious time. Remember I said very strict time limit? Oh yeah, and jumping on and off these things can be super janky, so expect to miss a lot. This is the biggest difficulty spike in the game, and probably its hardest part. What seems like it should be a simple, cool cinematic thing is basically the ultimate roadblock. I have to think they eventually toned it down in a future patch or something, or will, I hope. It was way overboard. And number 8 is Dark Side of the Moon from Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. The final mission in the remaster of Destroy All Humans 2 is an extended gauntlet through an alien base that would be a cakewalk in any other situation. This isn't really a hard game for the most part, but there's one very large problem about this. It is an escort mission. I could probably stop right there and not say another word. No one likes an escort mission, especially one like this one where you don't have to just get your ally through long linear hallways. There's also full-blown defense sections where your ally has to stop and inject a virus into 3 separate pillars while endless waves of enemies try to kill them because obviously they don't want those pillars to have viruses injected into them. All the hallmarks of a frustrating escort mission are here. Bad pathing, endless roadblocks, ridiculously overwhelming odds, and a health bar that can drain in an instant unless you're constantly babysitting. But we also have to think about the fact it is a remaster, and while they did do some things to update the game, particularly in the visuals department, it's still mostly a game from 2006. So that's going to come with some frustration, and this is that frustration. And number 7 is Recon by Fire in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The newest Call of Duty game does not mess around on veteran difficulty level. You toss in these survival elements, you make the missions a little more open, toss a little more armor on the old enemies, and this game becomes very tough on veteran, let alone realism. Discounting the mission before the last with the tank, which I already talked about in the hardest bosses in recent games video. Check it out, it's a good video. We've been doing some good work here on gameranx recently, despite the fact that my voice sounds horrible because of the holiday season. But the AI here makes this basically suicide. They might as well be aimbots. They're the exact opposite of stormtroopers. So if you have so much as a pinky popped out of cover, they're going to shoot your pinky, and it's going to kill you that a bullet went into your pinky. If you somehow make it through the warehouse, it doesn't really get a lot easier from that point. These places are filled with armed guys that are bullet sponges. Basically, the only way to kill them before they kill you is with headshots. And even then, sometimes you just roll in the dice and hoping they die before you. Depending on your skill level, this mission can actually take hours to complete. It's tough on normal, but on veteran or higher, it's ridiculous. He's all alone. And number 6 is The Club from Sifu, a game known for its difficulty, but you wouldn't know it from playing the first level. That's just the game going easy on you and easing you in. Once you get to the second level, the deaths begin. The Club is Sifu's ultimate test. If you can adapt to the difficulty and get through this one, the rest of the game is possible. Not easy, but doable, right? Okay. There's so many things that make this club tough. Enemies are more aggressive. They introduce a lot of the toughest enemies in the game. There's multiple mini-bosses, few alternate routes, but zero shortcuts. And there's this long section where you have to survive a training course. It's all tough, and a lot of these enemies are throwing everything they got at you. But that's nothing compared to the boss of the level, Sean. Sean has a very plain name, but he pulls no punches. Expect to get destroyed the first few times you even manage to reach him. With this guy, basically the only way you get through it is if you manage to really learn the game and understand how to dodge and parry. Basically, that's how. You gotta grind it out, you gotta die a lot, and you gotta learn what you're doing. This is the make it or break it level of Sifu. This is when you decide if you're up for the challenge or not. And number 5 is After Alterna from Splatoon 3. Think of this level as the Splatoon equivalent of Dark Side of the Moon from Mario Odyssey, a bonus level that's significantly harder than anything else in the game before it. To reach this mission, you gotta complete every other level in Splatoon 3's single-player campaign, which is fun for the most part. Like, it's not as tough as the Octo expansion DLC for Splatoon 2, but this mission, brutal. Starts off as a series of ridiculous platforming challenges that combines every annoying thing possible from a platformer. Tilted platforms, huge gaps that require near perfect jumps, some absolutely cruel leaps of faith where you basically just have to hope you're in the right spot, and some frankly ridiculous moving platforms. This is all in the first stage out of 3. It only gets worse from there, and remember, you don't have infinite continues in this mode. There's a fee for playing this level, and you pay every time you die. It's huge. You could easily run out of money and be forced to grind, get some money, and then come back before you can even attempt it again. And it's just for a single log. Is that worth it? At number 4, the pinball game from Sonic Frontiers. We know Sonic games love pinball, but although I'm quite fond of the rest of the game, I don't know about this one. The mission starts near the end of Island 3 in Sonic Frontiers, which is already the most frustrating island in the game. It's got this wonky layout. Don't love it. Don't love all of the 2D sections that you just flung into. After the first 2 islands, this one is painful. But you got this friggin' nightmare before you even fight the actual boss fight in this area. And how bad could a little pinball game be? You're probably thinking. At first, it looks very easy. Pinball's floaty, it's very forgiving. Seems the only way you could lose is by literally not trying, but that's when the cracks start to show. Out of nowhere, the ball just goes into a gutter for no reason, and now your score multiplier is completely reset. The problem here is that the score the game wants you to get is absurd. The only way you can get there is a ridiculously high score multiplier, and you can only get there by collecting power-ups. You'll really only start to notice the score going up when you get the multiplier into the hundreds, because before that, the gains are so low they might as well not exist. Every time you die, usually through no fault of your own, the multiplier resets, so 5 minutes wasted. Here's the thing about this mission. For some people, it's a whole big load of nothing. They don't have any problems and they finish it in like 5 minutes. Those people are very lucky though, because everybody else is not having that happen. Like a ball bounces in the gutter a bunch of times for no reason, clips through stuff, game freezes. I mean, it's wonky as hell. It's too hard for a simple pinball thing. And number 3 is drawing heat from Saints Row. It's a mission that's hard for a bad reason. I could say it's Saints Row from 2022, and that might explain it, but I'll go further. It's not complicated. It doesn't introduce like a new mechanic or anything. It's not even really that hard normally, but there's a weird glitch that makes this impossible for a lot of players. So what's supposed to happen is you arrive at this location, and then a bunch of police swarm you. So you just have to kill everybody. That's fairly simple, but you noticing the problem yet? For some reason, the game decides to spawn a bunch of cops onto the overpass above the area, and guess where you can't go because it's out of bounds and will make the mission fail? It's the overpass. So this mission isn't tough because internal game design, it's because of a bug. Like, there's nothing you can do if enemies spawn up there. Hopefully you'll get lucky and some allies will also spawn on the bridge and take the cops out for you, but otherwise you're stuck. I think there's a way to possibly get up there using a wingsuit or starting the mission from a helicopter or something, but when a mission forces you to metagame to get around a major soft lock like this, that's not good. And number 2 is the arena on very hard difficulty in Horizon Forbidden West. This game's pretty challenging even on normal, but let's talk about the very hard difficulty. The machines are more aggressive, they do more damage. It's just generally a tougher game. And while there's ways to get around that, when you're playing the game, normally by focusing on stealth and traps, when the game gives you a time limit, there's problems. There's a reason so many people who play this game in the hardest difficulty still recommend you turn the difficulty down for the arena, because the game just isn't balanced for a fight on a time limit at that challenge level. Even for the true masochist, it's the bridge too far. In total, there's 20 challenges, and a lot of them force you to take on multiple machines at once. Beyond this, there's not really a lot to say about this one. It's just super hard, nearly impossible on the highest difficulty. The machines just gang up and tear you to shreds, and there's really no time, and your gear is pretty limited at this point. Pretty much all the tricks that you rely on to get through very hard just don't apply to the arena. And finally, at number 1, White's Hell Rush from Neon White. Neon White, already a pretty challenging game. There's multiple missions that frankly could work on this list, but if you want the hardest challenge of any game this year, look no further than White's Hell Rush. This is a challenge mission unlocked after beating the game and viewing every memory, which pretty much requires you to 100% the campaign. So what is this mission? Alright, you have to play through every single level in the main story in sequence without dying at all. You don't get to refill your health between levels. That's just constant throughout the whole thing. And just going through this is going to take about an hour or so of non-stop gameplay. And if you die somewhere in those last few levels, you got to start the whole thing again. Neon White starts off pretty easy, actually. All you're really worrying about is getting a good time, but by the end of it, it is a relentless game. Those last few levels are pretty brutal, and the majority of player deaths occur there, so that means you're going to be starting the hour-long journey all over again. It's an insane challenge that even people crazy enough to do everything else in this game, they give up on it. Only 3% of players have actually managed to finish this mode, on PlayStation at least. That number's probably a little higher on PC with keyboard controls, but that doesn't make this not one of the toughest challenges of the year.
And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on GameRanx.